You know, it's kind of strange and funny. I honestly don't typically like Nepo babies. But when it comes to everyone's favorite, Pirate, I'm not a Nepo baby, but here, now listen to my life story about how I am not a Nepo baby that's gonna somehow still convince you that I am a Nepo baby. Software. I do adore him, but maybe not because he's a Nepo baby. Maybe because he's an egotistic idiot who literally cannot shut up and take any responsibility, and always, somehow, magically just manages to make it worse for himself. Every time he tries to defend himself, something happens. And, well, as you can guess, something happened again.
It's follow-up time already, because Pirate Software has decided to continue actively being a silly little boy. He has made a couple of statements and, for once, not deleted them. Been reading through all the posts against me over my stance on the Stop Killing Games initiative. That sounds really exhausting. You should watch my video. I just talk about your conduct and rhetoric, and incidentally have to mention your stance. Tons of people calling me a liar, or that I misrepresented the initiative, cause you're...
Yeah, because we literally saw you in 4K ultra deluxe definition with a script behind, and director's comments even included how you did.
And you did. We'll get to his strategy of dodging this soon. Also, lots of content creators dogpiling on this to get their pound of flesh. Boo.
Oh no! He actually went there again. This started in World of Warcraft. This started when he roached out and didn't take any responsibility. Up until that point, drama was fine. Drama was fun. The moment it involved him, he started crying. This is unsustainable. People who are making fun of me should rethink their positions because they're never gonna succeed if they keep attacking me. I mean, there's literally probably channels that exist nowadays with tens of thousands of subscribers because you exist, Pirate. Very fun.
Boo-hoo. Invoking the language of harassment. Dogpiling you. They're covering the guy who was trying to get attention for his take negatively. But it was 10 months ago. If one of your old videos popped off because people loved it, you wouldn't be crying. Let's dig into what I actually did and said. Don't worry, buddy. We will.
Dude! This is hilarious because he already had a previous video where he tried to gaslight. By the way, that's a really good one. He did a response video to his altered persona Maldivius Fig Tree, and he completely lied and talked about things that didn't matter. For example, oh, I never tried to hide this persona of Maldivius Fig Tree in Second Life. One, no one cares about the Second Life. Two, you literally ban people who brought the name up in your chat, and we know. And, stuff like that. It's like, here's a real thing that people care about, and he talks about something else that literally no one has even mentioned and no one even knows a thing. That's how he lies. I'm betting, considering Pirate Software literally does not learn any new tricks ever. This defense is going to be just him more of the same type of lies about things that no one mentions or cares about.
Did and said. Don't worry, buddy. We will. I put out 2 videos on August 6th and August 7th, 2024. Now, that's true, but he also did a lot more than that. He has actually talked about it on stream a bunch of times. Here he is with the page up on the 19th of July. And we know he also streamed about it sometime after July 31st, because Accursed Farms has clips of Pirate Software reacting to a video that was released on July 31st.
This is shit.
Yeah, this is classic.
Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
In my previous video, I said I couldn't find that VOD and suspected he'd deleted it, but now I can confirm that he absolutely did delete it, alongside the other streams he was talking about it.
Are you surprised? I'm personally not surprised, Al. I don't know about you, but I'm not surprised in the slightest. Again, one more of Pirate Software's tactics. Delete evidence, ban everyone who talks about it, hope it goes away.
Around that time.
But still actively kind of get mad about the fact that it's not really going away, so people talk more about you in a negative way. It's hilarious.
Through the Reddit for their initiative for that, and there were a number of posts in there that were people saying we should keep baiting him and attacking him, because if we do that, he'll keep talking about it, and then more people will sign the initiative. They were planning that shit. And those threads are still there. They're still up. People are still talking.
I would assume that this is a lie or taken out of proportion. Again, this is what Pirate Software does. As a Pirate Software scholar, I know these things. I know how this putrid existence of a joke of a man conveys himself better than he does himself.
Talking about that shit on there. So instead of that, I just deleted all the VODs where we were talking about it. I kept my videos up and I walked away.
Who knows what was said to thousands and thousands of people on those live streams? What we know he did say, though, is counter to the image of himself he's trying to present right now. He wants to portray himself as the level-headed guy, beleaguered by rude trolls, when his now hidden VODs showed he was talking like this.
Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just
Now,
had to
the
receive.
reason he says that, by the way, is because he's gay and he actually wants that. Not even joking, by the way. Here, the lyric wolf expose accidentally didn't even plan on this, but exposed that Thor is actually, in fact, a gay 40. I know, technically not really in any way unexpected, but you know, we actually have confirmation now, which is kind of neat, I guess. But yes, that's why he's saying that.
Was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours.
Let's dig into what I actually did and said. He says, from a throne of deleted VODs. He continues and says many people have not watched the videos he made. Yeah, and even fewer have had the chance to look through those VODs you deleted to see what you were telling thousands and thousands of people. Anyway, many people have not watched them and are just calling me a liar or attacking my character. Who? Throbbing Pepe69 on Twitter? Monetization on these videos is disabled, so no, this is not some ploy to increase revenue. That is an insane thing to have to defend yourself against. And he really doesn't have to. But if he does, it serves to characterize his
Does it actually matter that monetization is turned off, considering YouTube can monetize videos that are demonetized if they feel like it? Like, does that even matter, honestly?
detractors, right? This is the kind of person he's dealing with. He has to say that. I just care about this subject and have rightful concerns as a person working in this space.
I also deeply care about Pirate Software, so I do put myself in all of this. Yes, and I will keep doing it because it's hilarious. Someone who is so adamant about not learning anything about any of his mistakes, which are the same over and over again, it's just pure joy.
I wouldn't have anything to say, but he had to say rightful, i.e. justified concerns, didn't he? Bro, one of your takes was that you're scared that if SKG is successful, the government's gonna enslave game devs who've made live service games and force them to work on it forever.
I don't want the government telling indies that they have to have their live service game stay online forever. I don't want that.
Do indies even actually make live service games that often, by the way? Just on a completely separate note.
Nobody wants that. But when you're talking about a legal setting to force people to do this, you're generally moving in that direction.
This guy wants to talk about delusional perspectives, while seriously floating the idea that there's a chance the EU would legislate to make it so that if you're an indie dev and make a live service game, that's it. That's your life now. Get in the server maintenance cage. He then moves on to tell us what he actually said in his first video. As with his claim that he made 2 videos, all of this technically true, but that's not all that was in the video. He has chosen to omit the #1 misrepresentation he made.
In the first video, I go through what is what an initiative is, how it's not law, and how it's how it's a starting point for the entire process. I think honestly most people understand initiatives aren't law, so why? Well, okay, actually no, this makes perfect Pirate Software sense, because I mean he needs to talk about something to seem smart, so let's explain a word that everyone intuitively understands to begin with. This helps people understand that this is to start the conversation for change and can adapt later. I then go through the initiative and some of its goals from the official page for it. I then talk, dude. This is every single time I read Pirate Software, it's just kind of fucking painful. Every single time I read his shit, when he posts, it doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem like this was a real boy. Okay, this seems like some Pinocchio tier shit. Official page for it. I then talk about the repercussions of them should they be implemented. As written, all games need to be left in the functional, playable state. And he makes up a bunch of shit about that.
Accurate statements don't cancel out misrepresentations unless they are directly addressing that misrepresentation. If I made a video where I said, Pirate Software killed my dog, and he's a game developer, people get mad and I respond and I say, well, here's what I actually said. I just thought people should know that Pirate Software is a game developer. That's not countering the hate. That's lying by omission. If you want detail on the misrepresentation, check out my last video. There's something else I want to look at here. Pirate Software says, I also harshly critique Ross Scott's wording in his videos because they disparage the lawmaking process and lawmakers, which doesn't benefit players or this movement in any way.
What the hell is the point of even saying that? Also, that's not true.
Multiple problems with this. Some of what Pirate Software said in his video could be construed as a critique of his wording, but in addition to that form of critique, Pirate Software also mischaracterized what was simply Ross describing why it could work, explaining a state of affairs that would exist regardless, as if it were Ross's tactic, his strategy, to push it through.
If you're going to be setting precedent, if you're going to be putting forward something that you want to start a conversation to eventually become legislation, and these are the reasons for it, not only can I not agree with the initiative, but I can't agree with you. And I think that the tactics that you're using here are really disgusting.
He called Ross's description of how things are disgusting tactics, when it's not something
Wait, does he even explain why? Or does he just make up the reason why?
It's something he's describing that would be in play regardless of the gaming-related initiative being proposed. Correct or not, it's what he believes. If he decided not to say that when he thinks it's the case, for the purpose of providing a different appearance of his campaign, that would be disingenuous. So it's not a tactic, but as far as disgusting goes, why does he think it's disgusting? He doesn't make that perfectly clear in the video, but his recent Twitter post explains, as we already saw, that he says he critiqued the wording because it disparages the lawmaking process and lawmakers, because it doesn't benefit the movement, and he says just players. It's bad for all players. This is very, very strange to me, because before Ross put out that video where he explains why he thought the initiative could succeed, Pirate Software had discussed Stop Killing Games and had a few words of his own to say about the government.
The moment you have the government step in and try to regulate this shit,
it's bad.
It's going to be awful. If you think the government can manage anything, you haven't been around long enough. Legitimately. That is
Okay, not to defend the government too much, but someone who worked at the government in a higher position. The government actually does a lot of good things, but the problem is it also does and complicates a lot of things that shouldn't be as complicated as they would be. And those things are annoying, and those things are the only things that people notice because all the good stuff is not actually visible. But there's a lot of it, okay? So, just saying unironically, because this guy is, again, he's always self-assured to the maximum because he's a retard. Unironically saying the government is useless? Bro, okay, listen, even the Zimbabwe's government, while they steal 99.9% of everything that is not nailed down, and even then they steal the nails somehow, even they do something useful, okay? Even they kind of manage something because, you know, the whole place hasn't imploded completely, right?
It's a terrifying prospect. Letting the government get into video games is a terrible goddamn idea.
Also, the irony of this is they already are. In America, in Europe, they are.
Awful idea. You need to get through a couple more presidents before you realize that shit. That is an awful direction. Keep the government out of games. No thank you.
Wait, is this his real position? Or is it just another fake one he thought would be more effective in the moment? And this is the guy we're supposed to now believe is concerned about the disparagement of lawmakers. Seriously though, he was kinda based in this stream. Bit hypocritical because apparently he doesn't consider—
Oh, also, by the way, last video I said that the Pirate Software situation is so bad, even Knights Media friend Asmongold is not actually protecting his fellow Knights Media, not Devil's Slave. People commented, no, that's not true. He's still protecting him, which is hilarious.
Consider government force being used to protect intellectual property as the government being in games. Wonder why. But check this out.
If you want to petition a studio to then have that game released as a live service game with private servers on the outside, you go right ahead. You get the government involved, I am not on your side. I am not on your side even a little bit.
Government.
The funniest part about this, Pirate Bootlicker Software is the ultimate bootlicker, as the name would imply. Like, he is as much anti-piracy as possible. It's pretty insane, honestly. Well, it's slightly less insane the fact that he's trying to portray himself as a genius hacker and game dev while he hasn't hacked anything, and he hasn't even finished his one shitty MS Paint game.
Stay the hell out of games. Yeah, I told you before, I'm not a fan of the government. There's a reason for that shit. Keep them out of games. Stay out of games.
What's the reason, though?
They can't manage
I want to
shit.
hear.
They've never been able to manage shit.
Listen, I want to kind of hear the reason slightly above. Oh, the government shit. Okay, I kind of want to hear a little bit more.
I don't want them in games. You don't want them in games.
If he's not lying about his feelings here, then literally everything else he's said is a deception. Every last thing he said in his videos, every last thing he's saying in tweets, totally disingenuous. He would be arguing against it no matter what, because his real problem is any government involvement whatsoever. The arguments he's presenting are just whatever he can scrabble for without having to let you know he's this cucked bitch libertarian too scared to state his real position. Unless it's a few hours deep in a stream and he thinks outsiders won't see it. Holy shit! This is more pathetic than I thought. Pirate Software said this.
To say that the government just doesn't care and this is an easy win and we're going to get it through is disingenuous. You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar global industry. To think that the government isn't going to be meticulously looking through this and looking for flaws and holes is absurd. So I don't think that's honest at all, and I find it disgusting.
Like 2 weeks after saying this.
Government can say the hell out of video games. They don't even know what the goddamn internet is. And we know that because when the Congress was talking about it, they called for nerds to explain it to them on the goddamn Congress floor. Do you really want that shit in video games?
This guy was practically calling the government retarded. Granted, he was talking about the US here, so maybe he thinks the EU and UK are run by gamers. But Jesus Christ!
The UK is run by stabbing sprees as much as I'm concerned.
Christ, do you mean anything you say ever? Or is it literally always just what you think will work? Sorry if you feel a bit blue-balled.
Just what you think would work, obviously.
Because you were expecting a step-by-step through both of his tweets. But I'm disgusted now. I've lost my appetite for this kind of cringe. Let's finish by briefly scanning his second tweet. He starts with name drops. Just talked to Charlie and Just Drive Hayes for a bit in DMs. So this is going to be about that conversation, yeah?
Wait, is this after we saw Charlie's response to this? Oh, yeah. We saw this yesterday.
So this is going to be about that conversation, yeah? You ought to be careful saying, I talked to so-and-so, and then just stating a bunch of stuff, because it makes it sound like they're co-signing it, or that they advised you or something. And this is the summary of that, when that really doesn't seem to be the case.
But the point of me reaching out to him was to talk about his refusal to acknowledge that he did, maybe unintentionally, misrepresent Stop Killing Games. And it led to a just shy of 2 hours
of
circular argument that ultimately got us nowhere. He was more focused on his qualms with...
It's a miracle how some people are now actually finding out pirate software. It's truly a miracle.
Stop Killing Games, and really liked to challenge me to prove him wrong about...
I mean, the world's going to shit, okay? DSP is literally becoming a TikTok meme at this point. DSP is gonna outlive pirate software. Also, someone commented, oh yeah, DSP has a bigger ego than pirate software. No, DSP is just stupid. He's stupid and incredibly lucky because nothing seems to stick to the Snort Lord himself. It's just a miracle. DSP is just a walking fucking miracle. Scientists should catch him with a net and then fucking study how the hell does this creature bend reality to its will so much, honestly. That's DSP. He's not full of himself. He's fucking just stupid.
Some of his hang-ups with it, and when I would mention, like, the behavior aspect, like, hey, you did misrepresent it, and I'd give him a timestamp, he'd then instead say how I'm wrong for thinking that he misrepresented it. We got nowhere.
This tweet doesn't seem like a very natural outcome of that. That he talked to them doesn't seem very relevant to him simply repeating himself again. Well, hold on.
I mean, pirate software probably is not even gonna wait 5 seconds to try and pretend and push a narrative if it benefits him at this point, especially.
To be fair, it's not all simple repetition. He's got another new real reason he made those videos. He only made it because you're retarded, and it was his duty to improve public knowledge because you thinking game dev is easy makes game dev hard. Which is funny, because this guy doesn't even understand apologies. If you're mad at me for being a dick to Ross...
Yeah, we read this. We read this. This was hilarious. This is not even the first sentence, by the way. The very first sentence of this is, "I'm sorry you're mad at me for being right." That was the first sentence in his apology. Ah, it's glorious. Anyway, that was hateful opinions. 10 out of 10. Bye.